You have no idea where your husband is?
No idea. Not a clue. He could be anywhere.
When was the last time you saw him, Mrs. Colby?
Oh, well, let's see. It's been, okay, so it's Thursday, so oh, 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yes, it was right after the harvest moon because I remember saying, "Look, Clive, it's the harvest moon." And he didn't answer. I was a little miffed at the time, but now that I realize, he wasn't even there. I think that just goes to show you should never jump to conclusions.
So, your husband has been missing for 2 weeks, and you never reported this fact to the police?
Heavens no, my husband is a very private person. I wouldn't want the police intruding on his personal life.
Mrs. Colby, you don't seem all that concerned about your husband's disappearance.
Oh, well, of course I'm concerned, but I'm a worrier by nature, so I don't give that much weight.
I see.
Besides, this is hardly unusual for Clive. You see, he's a whimsical fellow, and he possesses of a strong idiosyncratic urges that often defy description. Oh, you're gonna laugh about this one. Once he walked out on us in the middle of our Christmas dinner, and he called us 3 days later from the British Columbia. He was trying to join up with the Mounties. We had a good laugh about that. You could imagine.
Mrs. Colby, we have reason to suspect that the circumstances here are a little more serious than that.
Well, I should hope so.
We've spoken to some of your neighbors, and they reported there was some kind of disturbance there at the house the night your husband disappeared.
Really? Here? How funny.
Yes, they said there was a lot of shouting, arguing, profane language, strange animal noises.
Animal noises? That is so interesting. Do you mind if I grab some water, Detective?
Mrs. Kobe, we're in the middle of an investigation. This will only take a minute every time. Now, please. Did you and your husband have any sort of disagreement that evening?
Oh, lordy, no. My husband and I are always in perfect coordinates. Our evenings are invariably spent in sedate, implicit self-satisfaction.
So, there was no shouting.
Oh, the shouting. I can explain that. You see, Clive, he's getting a little hard of hearing, so I may have raised my voice a tad, asking him what kind of topping he wanted on his ice cream frappe.
There was an overheard statement, and I'm quoting it here. Fat cow. I'll show you who's a fat cow.
Hmm, well, I can explain that. We were playing a little game in the privacy of our bedroom, the details of which are rather salacious and not all that relevant to this investigation.
Perhaps not. Perhaps not. But the words of the question were spoken in the living room.
Oh, well, we were moving around. It was spirited fun.
The neighbors reported there was screaming, lights going on and off, some sort of violent struggle with the blinds.
Well, that was Clive. He was pretending to be a parrot.
A parrot?
Yes, we were playing parrot and the cow.
I see.
Yeah, so naturally, he was jumping all over the furniture. He was scratching on the blinds, and he even knocked over one of my best lamps. It was very comical, yet profoundly erotic.
I see.
Uh, I think my muffins are done, Detective. Do you mind if I go get those?
Mrs. Colby, we are in the middle of an investigation. Now, Mrs. Colby, we checked on some of your recent credit card purchases in the last 2 weeks and discovered a bill from Home Depot for a load of mixing cement, which was delivered to your address, 40 sacks of cement to be precise.
40 stacks. That seems about right.
On the face of it, that's a lot of cement, Mrs. Colby.
Oh, well, I can explain that. You see, I make bird baths as a hobby.
Bird baths?
Yes. So I designed my own bird bath molds. I mix the cement in personally. I have to let it set, of course, and then voila.
I didn't notice any bird baths in these pictures I have here.
Well, of course not. I give them away to my friends and passerby. For me, the joy is in the creation.
What I did notice in these pictures, out behind the garage, was a very, very large cement plot, about 3 by 6 feet, which appears to be quite freshly laid.
Well, that's all the excess cement. There are so many false starts in bird bath construction. You would have no idea.
Apparently not.
Plus, I eventually intend to build a shrine to St. Anthony out there.
I see.
Could I go grab some sardines, detective? Is that okay?
Mrs. Colby, like I've said multiple times before, we are in the middle of an investigation. Now, forgive me for pointing this out, but it is my job to point out any discrepancies. And there appears to be a large shovel tucked behind the couch in these pictures.
Oh yeah.
Now, I am to assume that's the customary spot for your heavy garden tools.
Well, no, but I use that particular shovel to clear away the cobwebs that tend to gather in my attic.
Most people would just use a broom for that purpose.
Yeah, most people would. The more fools they.
I have observed in these pictures you do keep a very tidy home, Mrs. Colby,
Why, thank you, detective. I try.
which, which makes that stain on the carpet there all more conspicuous.
Oh, was there a stain?
Yes, right there in that picture. It looks for all the world like dried blood,
Oh, I see it. Oh, yes, it does, doesn't it?
but I take it's not.
Oh, my stars, no, it's chocolate.
Chocolate?
Oh, yes, okay. So, we had a box of Godiva chocolate sitting around here for the longest, and, let's say about 2 weeks ago, I just dipped into them, and there was one after another, and I just couldn't get enough, and I guess I must have dropped a piece on the ground. Um, I was wondering what happened to it.
Excuse my presumption, ma'am, but that doesn't look like Godiva chocolate.
Uh, oh, but look, it is. Mmm.
When I say it doesn't look like Godiva chocolate, I'm referring to the fact that it looks more like, how shall I say this? Hershey's.
I beg your pardon?
In the course of my various investigations, I've had occasions to make a comparative study over grades and qualities in foreign and domestic chocolates. On this note, this chocolate has a decidedly processed milk chocolatey look to it. How do you explain that, Mrs. Colby, or can you?
Well, I.
Yes.
Oh, you've caught me, detective. You've caught me. I should have known better than try to hoodwink a woman of your cute perspicacity. Okay, it's a Hershey's bar. My secret's out. I eat commercial candy store chocolate on the sly. Oh no. Oh no, if the girls at the country club would know this, I'm so embarrassed.
There, Mrs. Colby. Don't be so hard on yourself. Many decent citizens will resort to lies and preparations when social pressure comes to bear. Needless to say, this will be our little secret. It goes no further than this call.
I'm very grateful, detective. Thank you. You're a woman of rare delicacy and perception.
Well, I suppose I am. Well, I guess everything else checks out. Thank you for your time, ma'am. Oh, and one more thing.
Yes.
This game you mentioned, the parrot and the cow,
Oh, the game. Yeah.
does it have to be a parrot?
Oh, well, of course not. No, the species are flexible. So long as the usual rules obtain, you could be a snake or a duck or whatever you will.
Well, I see. We'll be in touch.